Hello guys, this is Kedar and you're watching Kedar's vlog. So, in today's video, I'm gonna start with chapter number 6 of the book Run for the Hills Geronimo. But before that, if you haven't listened to my previous videos of audiobooks of part 1 and 2, you'll get the link down in the description box. So, let's get started. Chapter 6. Enough! Please, no more surprises. Before we left, we had a delicious breakfast: bacon and eggs, pancakes, donuts, and orange juice. After the rubbery cheese we would had on the plane, it really hit the spot. Yum yum. We loaded the luggage and scurried aboard the camper. Everyone, that is, except for Trap. He insisted I rent a Harley Davidson motorcycle just for two of us. He leaped into the bike. I had to squeeze into the sidecar next to him. As if that weren't bad enough, he forced me to wear a ridiculous leather jacket, complete with French and a bandana. Stilton family, let's roll! Shouted Grandfather William. We will meet at Mount Rushmore. Last one there buys everyone this dinner. With that, the camper sputtered to life and sped ahead of us. I couldn't believe a vehicle that big could go so fast. Later, Trap told me he had requested the Super Turbo Extra Velocity model. No wonder I had to use so many credit cards. Trap pulled the pedal to the metal. The tires screeched as the bike took off at breakneck speed. My stomach leaped up to my tonsils, then lunged down to my knees. Ugh! Slow down! I'm not sure if my cousin didn't hear me or just didn't care. We kept burning rubble. Desperate, I tried to distract myself from thoughts of being splattered on the highway. That's when I remembered something very important. Hadn't Trap said something about a treasure? By the way, what were you talking about on the plane? I asked him. What? He shouted. It was so noisy on the open road. I had to shout to be heard. What were you telling me on the plane? Shut your trap, Jerry Berry. Didn't I tell you it was a secret? He hollered. I rolled my eyes. If anyone could hear us over the shrieking of the motorcycle. My cousin lowered his squeak. Listen, the family vacation is just a diversion. In reality, you and I are going to look for treasure in Black Hills. But remember, don't tell anybody, not a soul, he finished mysteriously. I knew Trap well, enough to be suspicious of his motives. Could the treasure possibly be a secret because you don't want to share it with anyone? My cousin started making excuses. Well, actually, we can't look for the treasure. We would be too noticeable. I knew what was he up to. So I decided that at the first opportunity I would talk openly, honestly, and truthfully in front of our friends and family about the treasure. I would suggest we divide it equally among ourselves. But I didn't tell my cousin what I was thinking. I knew he would just try to talk me out of it. How did you find out about the treasure? I asked. Is there a map? We have got a lot more than that. Jerrycans, you'll see. Not only we have a map, but also an Now, you'll find out soon enough. It will be a surprise. Uh-oh. I was starting to get a bad feeling about this. Every time my cousin cooks up a surprise, it spells trouble for me. Another surprise! I shouted. No, thank you. Stop the bike. I want to get off. Trap suddenly veered into a tiny side road that meandered into the woods. We were bumping along a dirt road at top speed when he hit the brakes. You want to get off? Go ahead. The next thing I knew, I was flying out of the sidecar. Ah! I flipped through the air, head over right into space. I landed with a thud. Then I rolled down the path, banging my poor snout on every pebble and stone along the way. Every time I turned over, my tail was crushed under me. I rubbed the top of my snout, grumbling. I said, I wanted to get off, not be thrown off, I whimpered. Trap snickered. Sorry, German Minister. You said to stop immediately. I was just trying to help. I raised my snout to the heavens in expiration. That's when I saw a huge balloon floating above us. It was a hot air balloon. Two letters were written on it. WW. Hey Jerry Berry, do you like my surprise? Trap cried. See those letters, WW. Do they ring a bell? I know what they stand for because, I'm a genius. Besides, it was me who had the brilliant idea to arrange the whole thing. Wanna guess who is inside that hot air balloon? Only the greatest expert on treasure in all of Mouse Island. That's who. Chapter 7. Ready for adventure? I squinted up at the hot air balloon. I could just make out the outline of a tail, a classic rodent. He wore a vest and a khaki shirt. But what was most noticeable was his wide-brimmed cowboy hat. There was only one rodent in all of Mouse Island who wore that kind of hat. It was Wild Willie. Do you know him? He is a truly remarkable rodent. Wild Willie is one of Bruce Hainer's best buddies. They often travel together in search of treasure and lost civilizations. Trap and I watched as the hot air balloon descended. As soon as it touched the ground, Wild Willie scrambled out and grinned at me. Stilton, are you ready for adventure? There was something about that grin that made me nervous. Who? Me? Adventure? What do you mean? I blabbered. No, I don't think so. I mean, definitely not. Wild Willie gave me a long, probing look. Stilton, I was surprised that a mouse like you choose a vacation like this. He stroked his whiskers thoughtfully. Aren't you a bit of a cheese potato? One of those mice who are all about hot tubs, cheese rat recliners, and all you can eat buffets. His words cut me right to the tailbone. I was so dismayed that I looked my eye off my troublemaker cousin. It was only for a second, but that was just long enough for Trap to trip me. I shot up straight as an arrow and landed right in the hot air balloon. I tried to scramble out, but my paw got stuck under all the supplies at bottom of the basket. There would be no quick gateway for me. Trap had already hopped in after me, and Wild Willie was loosening the ropes that kept us tied to the ground. Go with the adventure, he shouted. With that, the hot air balloon rose into the sky, up, up and away. I struck my snout out of the balloon in horror. The ground was moving farther and farther away. Help! Help! I want to get out! I shouted, whiskers flapping in the wind. Wild Willie shouted back, too late! You can't get out now! But you'll like the ride, I give you my word. I tried to gather my courage. All right, Trap, you have got me here. Now you owe me to tell me about this treasure. Trap put his paw under his shirt and retrieved what looked like a very old piece of paper. He shoved it under my snout. The first thing I noticed was a terrible stench. The whole map smelled like rotten fish. Ew! It was a small, crumpled, torn sheet of paper. A piece at the very bottom was missing. I sniffed and then almost gagged. Trap, why does this map stink? Because I found it at New Mouse City's docks. Someone threw it into a garbage can filled with fish guts, he explained. I pinched my nostrils, took the map, and read the instructions out loud. If it's treasure that you seek, look deep into the forefathers' eyes and don't forget to peek. Don't forget to peek? I wonder what that means, I mused. I've got it. Wild Willie pointed to a spot directly beneath us. What do you use to peek? Glasses, I suggested. That's right, exclaimed Willie. So we have to look there from President Roosevelt's eyes. He's the only one wearing glasses. I followed his gaze and almost passed out from fright. We were floating above Mount Rushmore. I slapped myself in the snout, then winced in agony. Of course, why hadn't I thought of it? The American forefathers were the presidents. Wild Willie was genius. Great. How are you, Trap, going to get down here? I asked innocently. Wild Willie twirled his whiskers. He sized up with his piercing blue eyes. Well, I'm all muscle and Trap is all fat. Which makes you the lightest. So you're it. Ready for adventure, Sultan? What? Me? No way! I screeched. The next thing I knew, they were lowering me out of the balloon. Go with the adventure, Sultan, Wild Willie called down to me. Why? Oh, why do these things always happen to me? I moaned. For all the holes in a slice of Swiss, I swear all I wanted was a relaxing vacation. There was absolutely nothing relaxing about hanging from a rope hundreds of feet above Mount Rushmore. In front of my snout loomed the faces of 4 famous American presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Their eyes were enormous, looming before me like the jaws of a pack of hungry cats. As I dangled by my tail, I reflected on the 14 years it had taken to carve Mount Rushmore. It must have taken tons of dynamite as well as work of lots and lots of sculptures. What an incredible feat! Then I recognized the giant features of Theodore Roosevelt and saw that he was indeed wearing glasses. He was definitely the one the map referred to. I looked up at the balloon and shouted, I found him, but I can't get any closer. Try swinging yourself towards the glasses as hard as you can, shouted Wild Willie. And don't worry, if we think you're in danger, we'll tug at the rope 3 times. I didn't want to, but I did as I was told. I took a deep breath. What a cheese puddling experience! I was sure I would be splattered all over the granite rock. Instead, on the very last swing, I catapulted myself into the dead center of Roosevelt's eye. It was as empty as a cheese shop the day after Christmas. Hidden in a corner, I found a rolled up piece of parchment paper. I pounced on it. Another clue. It read, "There are jewels that no mouse can part. These should be left within Earth's heart." Okay, guys. Now, the chapter 7 is over. So let's meet in part 3. But before that, if you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel to get the latest contents of it. Please share this video to your family and friends, and please give a thumbs up. In fact, please give a like to it. So, bye bye.